Yeah. Gonna take another swing at this. I got a new YouTube video out earlier today. I'm very proud of that. The last stream did not go quite as well as I hoped. I upgraded my internet connection. I guess some settings weren't right or something. I was having drop frames. And so once I finished working on the YouTube video, what I did was I messed around with my settings. I read up as much as I could, make sure I had everything right. I did an hour-long test broadcast and got not a single drop frame. So it should be good to go this time. Hey, Kaleka boys, how you doing? So we did attempt. So we're gonna try 100% Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear. I do have a backup game ready when we do that. I did complete it last time, but it went so poorly that even it just fell into an abyss of bad luck and misfortune and technical problems as well as human error. So let's get started. I probably would have did so. I really haven't played any practice runs of this since the last time I attempted to stream Sonic on Game Gear. So, alright, let's go for it. Turn up my volume a tiny bit. I have it down to like a whisper on my end. That's just how I like to play the game. I'm sitting outside, Kaleka Boy says, I'm sitting outside here on a sunny Southern California day, enjoying a bubble milk tea along with popcorn chicken with sweet and sour dipping sauce. I appreciate that more than I should. I really appreciate the picture you've painted of me being a part of your day. I'm glad that it sounds like you have achieved your aesthetic, as the kids on social media say these days. Yeah, it sounds like you've really achieved your aesthetic, even though it's not quite properly how that word should be used, but it sounds like you're having a good time, and I'm glad I could be a part of it. So, let's stick it to the Eggman for real this time. Yeah, even the last time I tried 100%ing Sonic that, I would have tried some practice runs on this, but I spent most of that time doing video editing. for the video I got up on YouTube. If you type in ! videos, it should give you the latest news. It should give you a link to my latest YouTube video. Get the only speed shoes icon in the entire game. Not really use it, because I'm more interested in making sure I got my 50 rings. There we go, 50 rings. We're good to go. Gonna ignore the checkpoint, because we don't need the checkpoint. I did need the checkpoint when I was a little kid. Even when I was really small, and it wasn't necessarily a guarantee that I'd get through the stage. Any assurance, but the assurance we're going to rely on this time is our continues and one-ups. And as you probably may have heard about before, we'll be eventually streaming Sonic for Master System, which I do own the cartridge of. The Master System version of this, which was the original version, this is actually a port of the Master System version. And they adapted several things to make it easier. Well, to make it more suited to the smaller screen size. Well, not just the physical size of the screen being smaller compared to a TV, but the aspect ratio. Because what we have here, they adapted the special stage to deal with the screen crunch. The Master System version of this special stage here is very difficult compared to this one. Whereas here, well, in the Master System version, all of the springs have varying heights. I pause there, you can take a look at those springs down there. They're all purple. In the Master System version, there are different colored springs throughout different special stages in the GameCube version, but in this first special stage in the Master System version, they're like green and yellow springs as well as the purple ones. They all bounce you different heights, so it's a much trickier operation to move Sonic around the field effectively. So what we want to do, there's no one-up box in that stage, but we got our continue, and we got 100 rings, which gives us an extra life. Yeah, the morning stream a couple of days ago went flawlessly, and if you saw the stream for that. Then I did an afternoon stream yesterday, which for the first time I actually called the stream early due to technical problems, which is really what I should have done on the 13th stream when I last tried to do. Now you notice there's an exclamation mark box, well, an exclamation mark sign warning you that there is an unavoidable hazard again, but you have to go through that hazard to complete the stage anyway. So it's interesting that they put an exclamation mark box there, but more so than that, now that I think of it, it's kind of weird that they went ahead and put made it look like there was ground there when there wasn't. There's actually like a hole that you have to fall down. So I wonder why they put that false floor there for Sonic to fall through. I guess just as an element of surprise? I don't know. Now, you gotta go through here to get our first Chaos Emerald. This is a 100% run, which means that we're going to collect all the Chaos Emeralds. I did an awesome stream, I think it was the 12th stream, where it was the 11th or 12th stream. I do have the VOD of that up on my YouTube channel. And when you go I have a playlist of my VODs. They're otherwise unlisted, but I do have a playlist of something but the Twitch VODs that are viewable. Because the VODs where it got like the 13th and the 15th, the last one I did, things just got bad to the point where I don't really feel like it was a good viewing experience, so I did not archive them. Which means that once those go away from Twitch, they are going to be gone forever because I don't plan to post them anywhere. Whereas some of the streams, my earlier streams that have already been deleted from Twitch, they are up on YouTube for you to look back on. Do I plan to stream classic Super Mario Brothers games? I do have the NES Classic Edition. I actually had to rifle. Only a couple hours ago did I set up the Mega SG and put away the Wii U, because I'm not going to be playing my Virtual Console games on the Wii U for a little while, even though I'm still buying games to use on it. For streaming, specifically for streaming purposes. But I did take where I keep my consoles, I did take a look at my NES Classic Edition. I would like to stream my actual NES, or at least the cartridges that I've owned since about 2000, 2001, when I was buying NES, so I will be streaming NES, at least what's on the NES Classic Edition, until I get some kind of HDMI console solution so I could play my cartridges. But I do, I've loved Super Mario Brothers. I mean, if you didn't know me, if you knew me just from YouTube, you wouldn't know I had a strong Sega and PlayStation background. But if you knew me from these streams, you'd think I was more of I didn't have much of a Nintendo background, but I do have a history with the NES. and I do plan on playing NES games. Now, I've never, similar to how I've been playing Sonic the Hedgehog, the first Sonic, my whole life, but never before played the... Okay, there we go. Let me down there. Similar to how I've played Sonic my whole life and never beat it until one of my early streams here, and never 100%ed it till last stream, which no one got to see because, well, there were 0 viewers, probably because the stream was absolutely unwatchable to the point where even the VOD didn't really technically survive in a viewable state. Because sometimes even if the broadcast doesn't go well, the VOD, I mean, like, my recording that records to my PC as I'm playing usually has an acceptable version. Even that went wrong. So it's really my first time on stream getting the 100% ending with all Chaos Emeralds. And, but to get back to your point, Clackaboy, I will be playing the, well, similar to how I never beat Sonic until I was streaming it. I never beat, for all the hours I spent playing Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, I never beat the NES versions before. I did beat the Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario Bros. 2 years and years ago. I beat the Super Nintendo version of Super Mario Bros. 1 on Super Mario All-Stars. Yeah, you know, when right before I sort of cut off, I sort of cooled off from YouTube in 2012, around right now, long after the Wii U came out. Well, I guess a lot of my videos are about YouTube news, and it's kind of weird looking back just how much of that is just me talking. And I don't think I couldn't have gotten anywhere making videos like that nowadays. I mean, even the video I made today, which I made a video about one of the last rumors to come out, one of the last hoaxes before the launch of the Wii, where someone claimed to be working as a janitor at Nintendo of America headquarters and was cleaning Reggie's office and went through his wastebasket and found a crumpled up script for his the presentation where they were going to reveal the final price information and whatever remaining features would be revealed for the Wii console. And they made some pretty wild guesses, or they wanted us to believe some pretty wild things that were going to be shadow dropped just, you know, a month or two before the Wii launch. And pretty major features that would have redefined what the system was. So, and I do just a read through of that in my video, including criticizing his grammar and his copywriting skills. Because that's what my professional background is in. I don't get to talk about writing and grammar and writing style much on my channel, so it's a nice intersection between gaming stuff and Nintendo stuff and writing stuff. So I had a lot of fun making it. It's really what I would consider the first proper video that I've made. That wasn't, like, I made one video commenting on the Pokemon Direct from a couple of weeks ago. And really everything other than that was just announcement videos and updates on what was going on, mostly just stuff about what was going on with Twitch and apologizing for not being able to make as much YouTube stuff as I hoped for. But now that's finally, oh no, okay, that's not what we wanted to happen. Okay, we got it. That's the second Chaos Emerald. If the spotty capture, the frame rate with the capture, it makes the Chaos Emeralds barely appear sometimes. I know Sonic sometimes barely appears. It's just some artifact. It's just something to do with my capture equipment. It's not the Mega SG. On the monitor, I have a 2-monitor setup on my left here, and I'm going to be pointing to the right probably on the... But on the left, on my left, I see my monitor for my PC with my broadcast software, and on my right directly, and that's kind of off at an angle. And directly in front of me, I have my monitor. It's a little PC monitor that I have the Mega SG hooked up to that I do my gaming on. I can see the game itself on my broadcast software, and with my capture card, the latency is so minimal that I could almost play the game on my broadcast software if I wish to. I was blessed to be able to have the means to get my hands on a monitor, have a 2-monitor setup from the beginning. It's not a 2-PC setup, just a 2-monitor setup. 99, 100, there we go. Okay, got 100 rings. Oh, no. Okay, good. Okay, good, that's what we wanted. One thing I want to do, and this is partially practice for it, I want to just get in the feel of being able to confidently play through the game with all the Chaos Emeralds, and I'm not as... I've seen the ending for the Genesis version of Sonic the Hedgehog, and as it turns... I've seen the 100% ending where you end with all Chaos Emeralds, and the ending for the Master System, I mean the 8-bit version, whether it's on Master System or Game Gear, the ending you get for completing all the Chaos Emeralds is much better and more meaningful, and better fits in with the theme of the game. You get a better ending in the Master System, I mean, in the 8-bit version than you do in the 16-bit version. Oh, and I lost my shield. So I gotta be careful now. I don't want to lose my rings and miss out on... Okay, there we go. Here's our shield again. It didn't last long. I think in other Sonic games, you either can't keep your shield between stages, or you can't keep it between worlds. Whereas this game, as long as you keep your shield, you get to keep it between stages and in between zones when you clear a zone, so... And bringing a shield into the Robotnik stage of the... in the Genesis version, the third act is an actual proper full-fledged stage, and then you fight Robotnik at the end, whereas here, the third act is nothing but a short lead-up to the Robotnik stage. But in the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog, bringing a shield into the Robotnik stage is the only way you can take a hit when facing a Robotnik boss battle, because you otherwise... there are no rings in the Robotnik boss battles. And we've been live for 24 minutes, not a single dropped frame, so I'm pretty happy right now, because last stream it was dropped frames, and I was disconnected a few times, and it looked like a flipbook for the people watching it, and my audio desynced, and... Based on what okay. Now you could it only displays 9 lives on screen when you play during the gameplay. You only see lives beyond 9 when you go into your end of stage scoreboard scenes. So when you do like the end of stage scoreboard scenes, I guess. What I'm guessing is they didn't want to have a 10 appear on the bottom and just take up too much real estate. So we've safely made it through with... So far, we're on track for a 1-credit playthrough, which would be nice to achieve. It's not my goal. Maybe a long time in the future, if I grind this and get real good at it, I'll do some live 1-credit playthrough attempts. Last time, I think we got... Well, I got through. The 13th stream, I got to Scrap Brain and accidentally restart the game. Okay, now this stage is actually a bit of a precursor to Sonic Spinball. It's a vertical stage with flippers. Okay. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I got the extra life, and got the continue. And there's really no way, I don't think, to... Yeah, but it seems like I've set everything up in a good way, because... I did some research. The internet I have, it's actually better than the best internet that a lot of ISPs can even offer. So I was like, this should not be happening. Alright. Now, I guess to make up for the Robotnik stages not having any rings, they do put a extra life. Okay, there we go. Now, there are people in my neighborhood setting off fireworks. I hope that isn't coming up on camera too much, but it doesn't bother me so much, but hopefully it's not annoying the viewers. But we're on track for a 1-credit playthrough so far. Now, the Master System version of this boss fight is much more challenging, because there's a pattern where if you follow it, you won't get hit. But here... There are 2 safe zones, up on top of the pillar here, or down here at the bottom. And if you stay in one of those 2 spots, the bullets will always miss you. Now, you can get in multiple hits, but it's riskier, and this isn't a speed run. I'm not worried about getting a fast time. Though as I get better, I guess the times will naturally just improve. Yeah, the times are naturally going to get improved as but I'm going to be doing a... But really, this stream right here is kind of a makeup for the 13th one. But I'm glad that my viewers are having a good viewing experience this time. and I hope the that your dinner lunchy type thing 9. Isn't it 6 o'clock over in California right now? Was my reckoning correct on that? So it's 9 Eastern Standard Time. Will I be doing a special July 4th stream? I haven't looked at my well, I could take a look. I'm not doing July 4th. I have other things lined up in the real world. But let's see. Well, let's see. I'm just looking at my thing right here. I have Thursday 7 I'll be streaming on the 7th and 8th. I'll be streaming on the 7th and 8th. Both of those are going to be night. One's going to be 9. No. One's going to be 7. On Tuesday the 7th, I'm going to be streaming at 10, and then on the 8th, the next day, I'll be streaming at 5. And this stream and the next 2 are probably going to be my goodbye for 8-Bit Sonic for a long time, because there's so much other stuff I want to stream, but due to just technical problems and other things, I haven't got to close this out as I'd like to, because after this, I want to get into a little bit of Sonic on the Game Gear, on the Master System, just to show, because a lot of people consider all the 8-bit versions of Sonic the Hedgehog interchangeable, and when you see me go from this game to the Master System version, you will see how different those games are, because I know this game almost by muscle memory alone at this point, not literally, but I know this game pretty much like the back of my hand. This is probably the best platform, the platformer I'm best at, and the one I know most intimately. But give me the Master System version, and it's going to be a different story. And it'll be interesting to see how I play on Game Gear versus Master System, because the game is just similar enough to feel familiar, but the stages are they're laid out differently. It's a very different kind of feel. So, okay. Just grab these coins here. There we go. Alright. Now after this section we have this, we're going to find the Chaos Emerald soon after this section. But as I get better at this, I do want to eventually film some gameplay on my own time. Just direct capture without using, without broadcasting it. And use that to create a video walkthrough. A simple video walkthrough on YouTube. And there we go. That's our next Chaos Emerald. Now we just have to not die. Okay. So that's 3 out of 6 Chaos Emeralds so far. We're doing good. We're on our way to 100%. Yeah, so it should be 9, 8, 7. It's 6:20 in California. It's 8 o'clock U.S. Central Time. At 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2... It should be 2 o'clock in the UK already. Yeah, because it's 5... The UK is 5 hours ahead of us. Those are the only time zones I know of, I could calculate easily. And I don't often really have to calculate for West Coast US time. The reason I know it's 3 hours is because of... Basically just because of E3. And I have to know, okay, if they say it's going to be like 9 o'clock, an E3 presentation, in Los Angeles, it's going to be noon in the US. Any special holidays in your world where you're the world, well, at least on Earth, on Earth is pretty much just sort of an altered history version of our own world. There is an additional large continent between North America and Africa. It's between the east coast of the United States and the island of Bermuda. There's a very large landmass in between them, where there are a couple of countries on there. But aside from that, it's mostly an altered history of our own world. So depending on where you are, you're probably going to have slightly similar holidays. I haven't really thought too much about holidays specifically, but I haven't thought too much about holidays, but a lot of the customs are going to be similar. They're just some, you know, altered history events. Like, I haven't thought about it specifically, but like, you know, maybe Carthage, maybe there's a Republic of Carthage in that world, whereas in our world, you know, in ancient times, Rome, you know, destroyed Carthage, and there's no state of Carthage today because of that. But, you know, yeah, it's a parallel universe. So it's, you know, a slightly altered history to our world. The setting where a lot of the fiction I'm writing and developed is kind of takes place around 1900 to 1910 in that world. But so it's easy to call it steampunk, but it's not so much steampunk it's not steampunk as much as it is just, you know, taking place in the late 19th and early 20th century. But certain things have developed quicker that would lend it to steampunk-ish themes. Like, for example, in our real world history, Count, I think his name is Ferdinand von Zeppelin, the German nobleman who developed the powered rigid airship concept. He actually wanted to build his airship, I think he wanted to start building airships 10 or 20 years before he actually found the funding to do so. And in my history, he actually was able to secure funding another 20 years earlier. So airships are a little more developed in that world. And if airships had developed a little sooner, perhaps winged aircraft might not have developed as quickly. And then, so there's some differences with the type of technology being used, but it's not like a super hardcore, like Steam Boy style steampunk setting, or Mortal Engines type steampunk setting. It's something a little more reeled in, a little closer to our own history than that. But one thing I did explore that I thought would be interesting was, I have another novel. It's actually like 500 pages that I wrote back in 2005 or 6. It's a novel-length manuscript I never published. It would need a lot of sprucing up to, and plus a lot of it's not quite canon anymore, or I'd have to rework it to accommodate events, because originally I wrote this, is actually kind of what I originally wrote this universe around, and then I went back and started developing certain characters that would have been alive 70 or 80 years earlier, and that's when I really started developing it. But the concept from the beginning was, it took place in 1988 in this world, but my kind of theme was, what happens when a steampunk world moves on from the steam age? So, or like, there's certain things, like certain household appliances, like in New York City, for example, there's a district steam grid. A lot of major cities have a public system underground that delivers steam to buildings. And my idea was, perhaps instead of electricity, certain appliances would be able to use this steam. And they've used that has happened in real life. They've used district steam grids, for instance, to operate equipment like a steam-powered organ or things like that, or to charge the boilers of fireless steam locomotives. So the district steam technology has existed in our world and has been used to power machinery. Mostly today, it's just used for heating. But in my world, maybe some of that type of stuff stayed in use for longer. Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day. I'm not going to get my 100 rings. Now, if I get my 100 rings, I will earn... if I get 100 rings and earn a 1-up, I will be allowed to keep the 1-up even if I fail to reach the checkpoint. But if I collected a continue or a 1-up box, and I get to the end, I don't have it set up. For my next stream, if I remember, I'll set up the test card F just for you, Kalaka Boy. But if I I'll do it when I do my intermission. It will be, and I'm not switching consoles today, so I won't need to. Actually, let me go down here and get my 1-up. I actually don't know how many lives I have at this point. Now, it's tricky to jump up here and get. It's something about. Okay, usually I have a little trouble jumping up there. But for instance, during in 1910, if in real life, in 1910, if you're going to buy an automobile, you've had a choice between, it wasn't, you just get a car and that's it. It's, okay, I want an automobile. Do I get a gasoline automobile? Do I get an electric automobile? Or do I get a steam-powered automobile? There are 3 technologies, and actually steam and electric automobiles were more popular than gasoline for quite a while. And it was, as I understand, the discovery of oil in Texas and in the southern United States, and the invention of the electric internal combustion engine starter, where you didn't have to hand crank it anymore, those two inventions together really helped bolster the popularity of gasoline automobiles, whereas before steam and electric were seen as, for a while, kind of the more popular choices if you wanted to own a horseless carriage of some sort. And during the fuel crisis in the 1970s, there was actually Saab, the now defunct automobile manufacturer, was prototyping and investigating the possibility of bringing back steam-powered automobiles to counteract the oil crisis, because you could get, I think the thought was you would be able to get more steam, more use out of less fuel, which I think this car was going to burn oil. And a steam automobile, it's not something like a steam locomotive. It was an automobile. It wasn't a thing with like a big funnel and a firebox and a smoke box. You were burning oil and you were operating an automobile. It was more complicated than preparing a car. It took about, I think, 20 or 30 minutes to get it ready, to get the steam up. But they came up with ways, systems to get the boiler up to steam very quickly, and be able to have a steam automobile in the 1970s that an ordinary person could drive. And in my setting, the cars that would have been made, imagine something like a Volvo 200, looking just like, a car from the 70s or early 80s that we know in our world, but it has a steam engine under the hood instead of an internal combustion gasoline engine. And so this wasn't a steampunk contraption, it was just an automobile that used reciprocating piston steam technology. And so in my world, in the 1980s setting, the world where Lunarians exist, alongside humans as we know them in our world. You lose in the test code. Oh yeah, he yeah, Brenzelfloss. Yeah, that's the test code for the DSi shop. It's not many. I don't have many. I only used the DSi shop once to download the free version of The Legend of Zelda Four Swords that was offered in 2010 or 11. Aside from, and so I really didn't even remember the theme, but it just seemed like a good theme music to use, and Nintendo hasn't sent any their Ninja Strike Force after me for using it, so just go ahead and keep using it for now. Just go ahead and get my air here. Very generous clearance on the spikes. But the test card, yeah, so we'll bring the test card girl for next stream, but going back into my world building, is you started to bring up Clacka Boy. You just sent me down a rabbit hole just by mentioning that. But, so by the late 80s, there may be still some airships being used, some rigid airships being used for freight, but they're kind of old and tattered. And they're not, the shiny steampunk brass and gold decorative. It's just kind of these battered old Zeppelins. Not really very pretty, and not something you'd really worth paying attention to. You just might be seeing like, oh hey, it's like, when you see an older, well, this is a kind of a New York thing, but when you're at Penn Station waiting for a Long Island Railroad train, and occasionally you'll get an older train of M3 cars instead of a newer train of M7 cars, it's like, oh, it's one of those older trains, okay. There's something that, so you have still some steam automobiles that look just like a car that maybe it would sound different as it runs, but it's something, so it's kind of a post-steampunk world. How a world that, 70 years post its steampunk era might the kind of machinery and stuff that might exist at that point. 80. I'm kind of playing it dangerous by... Okay, please let me out of the stage now. I've given up. Please either let me get my 100 rings or let me get out the stage. Okay. Yeah, I need money to pay for the illustrations, because the artist friend of mine is very busy, and she deserves the money that, well, she's not widely available. She's very busy with her current clients, and she deserves to get paid well. So I need to find an artist that I can work with. And it is kind of intimidating working with different artists, because when you have an artist that, like Kita, that I do happen to have a personal relationship with, and, you know, she understands she understands me and we work together well. But, yeah, that manuscript, well, that's the 2006 manuscript. That's not, yeah, summer 2006 I wrote that. That's not so hot. And, yeah, it's not quite what you know, it's not something I'd really want to publish. There's nothing good back there, as I remember. It's just like a ring box or something dumb like that. So we're just going to keep on moving on this way. I meant to... Okay, that's more like it. But then in 2011, that's when I went back to the that was set in 1909, or 6509, as the calendar is in our world. It is not 6509 AD, it is 6509 LC, which stands for Linear Ceramic, which is... I sort of based that world's calendar around when a certain culture that was predominant in Europe about 6,600 years ago was creating a linear band pottery. So it's kind of, I called it the Linear Ceramic Calendar. So it's the years since that culture started making that linear band pottery. It is an actual epoch that anthropologists use. It's called LBK for Linear Band Ceramic, as it's or the way it's spelled in German. How long did it? That 2005. That was the. It took me all summer to write it, but I basically did nothing else. Okay, that was me being impatient and silly. So I lost my. There I go. I lost my rings. I'm being impatient because I'm paranoid about. I mean, we're doing great on lives, but okay, we do not want. So far, we're on track for a single credit run. Not that I'll restart if I... Okay. That was clumsy. That was embarrassing. Is there... No, okay. I just mistook. I'm possibly gonna die here. Yeah, I'm gonna probably die here. Yeah, I was rushing to... The reason I died was I was just being clumsy. I didn't time my progress properly, because... In my head, I conflated hitting that checkmark box with hitting an air bubble, so I wasn't budging my time properly. But, so much for the single credit run I was just boasting about a little while ago. But then, the manuscript I wrote in 2011, that took place 80 years earlier, that one is... like 400 pages or something crazy like that. Come on, there we go. That's more like it. And you grab the second one for good measure. We are not going to get trolled by the spinning spike here. Now, is there anything good up here? I don't think... Okay. Oh my gosh. I am not taking 2 L's due to air loss in a... Oh yes, I am. Okay, I think I should have continued going up to the left to get an... I think there's an air pocket there. See, this is what I get for not practicing. I mean, it is what it is. It's... What is this? What is this? Why am I back here? Why am I back here? Why am I at the beginning of the stage? Why am I at the... Oh! Okay. That's some butt. Okay. I didn't hit the continue box again, so it started me back at the beginning of the stage? I forgot I have to keep hitting the continue box. You know, I don't die that often in this game, in these levels. I'm sort of... And when you get to Scrap Brain, the levels you get are... there are points where it gives you check marks or checkpoints automatically without the down arrow boxes. All right, so we basically just get a second chance at redemption with this stage. That's what we'll frame this as. Oh yeah, I already got my. So now actually I just wasted a bunch of time. I probably want to get another air bubble again. The best way to go through... I like when I get... Okay, this is what fouled us up last time. Okay, we got it. Yeah, I forgot to hit this a second time. I mean, I wasn't that deep into the stage, but it's still just a pain having to come through here again. Gonna wait for the bullet to go, and we know that our air bubble is right on the other side of the spikes, so we just wait for it to show up. What I want to do a cookbook on crepes. You could lock me in an escape room with all the ingredients to make crepes. Where's my air bubble? Come on, come on. This is not fair. What's happening? That was. Yeah, thanks, game. Yeah. Okay. Why did it... I've never had that happen before. Would just refuse to spawn the bubble? I guess that was just some bad RNG. I mean, I'd rather have this happening with the stream being stable than having... Like, last time, I got through to Scrap Brain on, like, 1 credit, but I wasn't... the stream itself, the broadcast was terrible. So... Come on. What? Okay, if I'm standing in the wrong spot, maybe it won't give me the air bubble? I don't... Oh. Well, we're already... Okay, but we already have an abundance of lives and continues. I think we spent 3 lives in here so far. Alright. Come on. Now I'm scared that it's not going to give me the bubble. What am I supposed to do when it doesn't... Am I just on a... What the... Okay. That's to say, like, did I just start the game on the wrong frame? No, you can... Okay. I was so relieved about the air bubble that I went on without thinking about the spikes. What is going on with this run? But like I said, I'll take this over some nonsense where the air bubble doesn't spawn, or where the stream isn't acting right. I really don't have any hope for getting 50. There's really no. But yeah, you could lock me in an escape room with all the ingredients to make crepes and a stovetop, and I wouldn't be able to. I probably would have a questionable time attempting to make crepes. I'd have to... I could probably make something edible. I don't know if it's something that could reasonably be considered a crepe, but... And we're gonna go to the right, where... Okay. Okay, am I about to die here again? Because if I die here again... That will be some tuchus. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. All right, and now to get the weirdest placement for a Chaos Emerald in this entire game, we're just gonna go up here, and it's just sitting there. That's not even hidden. What's going on here? They just put it there. I don't know. Is there a machine that makes crepes? I don't know. Is there a crepe maker? Oh, well, thank you, game. I appreciate the one-up. I'll consider that recompense, game, for that nonsense where you didn't want to give me an air bubble even though I was standing at the spot and I had plenty of time. You just didn't spawn an air bubble. Guess I'm talking to the console. Talking to the console. I know it's not the Oton X, which has, you know, full artificial intelligence. Now, this stage, the boss stage, there's no air supply mechanic. We have infinite air here. And I do want to take the risk, because we do not have... Okay. Now I have to navigate back through here, because we don't have a shield. Normally I'd have a shield at this point. It's a more reasonable risk, but the hitboxes on the spikes are very generous, even though it still makes me like... It makes me cringe a bit as I prepare to make the jump. Yeah, I know there's a waffle maker. I think there's a such thing as a pancake maker. I don't know if... Now, there's a pattern I could follow for Robotnik here. that if I follow it properly, it's very difficult for me to lose if I follow it properly. It's not fast. These are not speedrun strats. No, but... Okay. Now, I now realize I can safely get 2 hits in on Robotnik. When I was on the train in England, did they offer afternoon tea? There was an afternoon tea train, and I've never had an English tea before, and actually the train, by coincidence, it's just a matter of history, the dining cars that they serve the afternoon tea on, they're not the Pullman dining cars. They are cars that are, they call it blood and custard. But yes, they do serve an afternoon tea service. I did have an opportunity to be on board one of those trains and reserve, an afternoon tea. But I was blessed to go, and I just booked like one of the first weeks, one of the last weeks in May, just arbitrarily, once I saw their schedule for the year. Because I booked this back in November November 2014. I booked this, and then I too busy talking to actually go after Robotnik there. So now he's going to go down. We duck here. So we lost a cycle there, but fortunately this is not speedrun strats. It's not a speedrun. This is just 100%. As few deaths as possible. No longer single credit, but I'm taking we can get. You just want to stand enough that the missile launches the torpedo launches to the left. Yeah, this is more of a thing that heritage steam railways do in the UK. It's not necessarily something that is typical of modern British trains, but the point of the heritage railway is to recreate all kinds of different types of services and scenarios you might be able to have on a train in the steam age. Okay, we've cleared Robotnik. We only have two zones left. Took 3 deaths there, and we should have taken 0, but I mean, that one death with the air bubble not coming up, when I was just sitting there for about 30 seconds before it happened, that was so generous of the game to give me the 1-up when I finally did clear the stage. I will consider that undone. It's like the game trolled me a bit, then it patted me on the back. It's like, okay, I'm just kidding. Back to normal now. Yeah, but there was so many special events, some of which only happen once a year, or don't even happen every year, that happened to take place during the week I was there. So much of that stuff was going on that I was like, okay, I'm gonna be here. I'm just going to choose to just ride a regular train. I'm not even going to go for every. I didn't even go for every. Ah, gotcha. Only very recently did I actually start to. Ooh. Okay. Now, if I don't get this right, I'm gonna have a very confusing time. Because no, actually, this stage is just running straight through. Now they put the switch here to introduce you to the idea of hitting switches to progress, but we're essentially at the end of the stage right now. There's nothing else really to do. And oh no, he lost momentum right before. Because it'll roll us straight through the caterpillar there. Straight through to the boss. I mean, straight through to the end of the stage. Now, if I remember this right, I have to go down. Okay, now I have to focus a little bit here. I'm not too... Oh, I have 21 lives. 21. I'd have 24 if it weren't for that nonsense in Labyrinth Zone. But we're gonna go ahead. Now... This is not the maze stage, because there's a stage that's a flat-up maze to the point where they actually take away the time limit. Because normally you have 10 minutes to complete the stage, and the stage following this, you actually have unlimited time to complete the stage in. Because they don't want you to worry. The challenge is in this. Now, even if I collect 50 rings here, it will not grant me access to the special stage. You cannot access the special stage from Scrap Brain or Skybase, and okay. So really, in collecting rings, your main motivations are to be able to be protected if you take hit from an enemy or obstacle, and really hopefully to get 100 rings. Oh, you recreated afternoon tea at home with a friend? That sounds really nice. You know, I had in 2nd grade... Let's go... Yeah, I think I'm supposed to go down. In 1st and 2nd grade, I had the same teacher for 1st and 2nd grade. It was this weird experimental thing that they had, but we're just going to go down. And not get killed by the pigs. Now, if you jump down, you don't have the momentum to navigate the way you want to. I think that's what the... No, actually... No, I can't actually jump down to the bottom. There's not... Yeah. We're gonna I'm gonna make the left here, which will let us get the 1-up. But it does spend a lot of time, so this is not that's not a speedrun strategy. No continues is more than... I mean, we have 22 lives now. But in 1st and 2nd grade, we had a teacher with... their parents were from Ireland, and she... each year she'd do... recreate an Irish high tea for us. So, you know, there's a little bit of cultural exposure. I mean, I remember her talking about her parents, like, each year rethatching the roof to their house with straw. Because they actually had a thatched roof home. I don't know if at some point, I think they eventually just put in a proper modern roof. But they actually did have a traditional thatched roof home. Now, if I came through from the top, you'd end up here, and I want to go to the left, is actually what I want to do. But if you come up, if you take the top route, you end up here with the switch, and if you hit that, now that I've hit it, when I come back around, it's going to loop me back through around, and I will be able to progress to the left to get to the end of the stage. So, how did the afternoon tea, I guess this was it based on, like, an English tea, kind of, how a tea would be served in England? Or what? Because it's interesting how many different countries have their own unique traditions for drinking tea. So, that's the second to last Chaos Emerald. We have to get it by going down that what appears to be a death trap. And we have the better part of 100 rings, so let's see if we can squeeze an extra life out of this. That would be really cool. Now, if I didn't hit that switch, I'd basically be just going in a loop and not making any progress. Was St. Patrick's Day a big deal for my teacher? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And, I didn't... She told a very basic version of the history of St. Patrick's Day, but I understand it to be a lot more complicated and political and controversial than so I really don't know much about Irish history enough to comment on that, but it was just, I think she just gave out green cookies or something simple like that. You know, it wasn't anything too serious or complex. Yeah, I know I probably already told you this, but when I was on the Bluebell Railway, a lot of the steam locomotives actually have a hot plate above the firebox where they shovel the coal into the locomotive to produce the heat for the steam. There was a hot plate on top of the firebox where they had tea kettles going, and they were brewing and drinking tea while the train was on the way. So, because they did invite me on board the engine a couple of times. Which was, okay, and the next stage, I think I have this memorized. The next stage is a flat-out maze. And the first couple of times I went through here, I was totally... Like, I was stuck for, I think, the better part, a half hour. I think I was stuck for a half hour or more. And we were an hour since we went live, about 50 minutes since I went on camera. An hour since I went live with my hold screen. Let me take a sip of water, actually. Yeah, feeling very good physically, in terms of my physical stamina. Let me tell you this real quick. So it took me like a couple of times, took me like a half hour to get through because I didn't know the pattern. And you see I'm pointing, you can't see where I'm pointing, but in the upper left, there's no time limit in this stage. I have as much time as I need to. I just want to comment right here. Look at that. How did that happen? How did that happen? I said it so this wouldn't... Okay. I made it go away. I made it go away. I almost restarted the console just then. I just had a frighten for real. I thought I said it so I'd have to press ABC and start. Because I wanted to look up, to scroll the screen up. Look at the sprite work here for the dusky, like smoggy industrial city. You can just imagine the city full of robots building, you know, traps and machines for Dr. Robotnik. And you can possibly imagine the people here too that are probably living rather comfortably, saying, "Hey, Dr. Robotnik, he took this, you know, this uninhabited island and built this great city, and we're living all right." So, you know, because the themes of Sonic are kind of about the struggle between, well, you have Sonic, who's, you know, an individual. He does what he wants. You know, he's just kind of does his own thing. So we're gonna go straight through. Okay, if I remember this correctly, you're gonna go straight through here. Then we're gonna go down here, where it looks like a trap, but it's actually, you have to go down here. Straight down. And the next branching, that one's just for decoration, but there's some of those that actually shoot lightning that you saw earlier. Straight down, and now we're gonna go up. Yeah, one time I just managed to, I guess the force was with me. I just ran through the stage perfectly. Without any, straight down. Straight down. Straight down, up. Left. Up. We're gonna go up again. No, I bungled it. I bungled it. Okay, oh wait, so I think I have another chance here. Okay, so up. Oh no, we'll go up. Okay. Now, here we go. We're back on track. Up. Here we go. Up again. And now I think we're good. I think we just have to go up again and then make the left at the next branching path. And I think that's it. I think we made it through. I think we made it through the stage. Okay, we did it. But yeah, one of these times the time before the 13th, somehow I just managed. Oh, there he is. Go get him. Just seeing that. Oh, you got the cakes and scones. So, what kind of sandwiches were they? Were they cucumber sandwiches? Because I've heard a lot of, I've heard quite a bit about how particular people are about, like, to do a proper English tea, do a proper cucumber sandwich, you have to cut it has to be a certain kind of cucumber, you have to cut it in this exact manner, or else they'll, okay, so we got through Scrap Brain, we are now in Skybase, so I'll have to focus a bit more, because in this version of Sonic the Hedgehog, Scrap Brain is not the end of the engagement. Skybase, in the lore of this, well, it's never explained, but through the visual storytelling, what we are at now is something a little beyond Scrap Brain. Whatever, we're at the launch pad for Robotnik's airship, and for those of us who know the Sonic Sat AM series, of course Robotnik has, well, even before. Well, we just know he has that infamous airship that he uses to pollute Mobotropolis and turn it into his capital. Oh yes, use white bread and cut off the edges. I don't. You know more about a legit English breakfast than I. Oh shoot. Now I'm deliberately not collecting all the rings. I'm leaving. Oh. I'm leaving some rings around so that if I take a hit like just there and don't have a shield, I could run back and collect some rings. Whereas if I had just gone through and grabbed the rings outright, well, here I have no choice. I just kind of have to. Okay, we're good. For all the this isn't as scary as it looks. The first couple of times it was, because the first time I played this on stream was really the first time I'd played this in my life. Because I played this so many times as a kid, but I never got this far on the Game Boy. And I deliberately, for years, have held off on beating this on the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console. Ooh. Because what I wanted to do... Oh, okay, you did your research on YouTube? That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know... Yeah, you'd be able to tell me... all about... Now, I got paranoid that maybe the platform... The first couple of times I was playing through, I got paranoid that the platform might fall away once it reached the end. But it doesn't. It's actually, it just goes and then that's it. They put the 1-up there. They're very generous to actually put it on a platform with no strings attached. So if you just go down there, you just get a pretty much what I'd consider a free 1-up. Just have to be observant enough to look. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Ooh! We did it! We did it! We did it. Alright. Just need a little water. Man, look at that score. That is a high score right there. And now, so that was the launch pad for Robotnik's airship. Now we're boarding the airship itself. So, now we're on board the airship. Now, what we have to do... Oh! Okay, it's hard to do that the first try, but I've about lined up where I need to go. We're going to bypass the more obvious way through the stage, which has a lot of cannons and spinning propellers and a lot of really dangerous traps. We're going to go through this challenge with these platforms, which is about as difficult, but in different ways. The stream where I went through the process of figuring out how to go through this was a whole lot of fun. Now, this platform only moves while Sonic is standing on it. Please, there's, I think... Oh, please. Okay, we're timed good. Because that cannon is a hazard down here. When you go through the stage normally, you actually get all the way to the end. Well, you can see the Chaos Emerald, but you cannot collect it. This way. Okay, so that's the last Chaos Emerald. So now, the only thing between us and 100% is beating Robotnik. Even if we die here, we still collected the Emerald. And there are no rings in this stage. They don't even have a ring counter. So they let you know, hey, no rings. This is a perfect run you got to do right here through the stage. So this is the first, this is the first time I went through that on the second try. So all we have left, we're an hour in since I came on camera, and we're about to go into Robotnik. Oh boy. Okay. Now there's... Okay, before I start on Robotnik, let me just take a swig of water, and then I'll run my mouth a little bit. Now this will be the third time when I do this. I mean, I'm not going to run out of my lives. I'm not going to accidentally reset the console. This will be my third time beating the game, and it will be... Well, the first time I beat the game, I kind of found what I thought to be a pretty solid pattern. Then I went through the second time. I was having all kinds of trouble just barely being able to pull. I think the pattern, how this works, will depend. And just look at all those those lights on those, I guess, computers or terminals in the background. Lots of great sprite work here. I also want to compliment the music by Yuzo Koshiro of Streets of Rage fame. His company, Ancient, made this version of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was not made by Sonic Team. And they did an excellent... This version of Scrap Brain Zone, I think, is much better than the 16-bit original version. I feel like the main melody is more developed. The first time I heard the Scrap Brain Zone on the original Genesis version, I felt like, where's the melody? When's the melody going to kick in? The Genesis version is more ambient. I think that... And here we have... Oh! And of course, as I'm running my mouth, I go into... there's a spot where you could stand when we enter this boss fight. Now, Robotnik doesn't fight us directly. He just stands there and he steps on the switch that makes a lightning ball come down. As long as I'm standing in this spot, let's test this out for sure, for safety. As long as I'm standing in this spot, none of these hazards can touch me. I don't believe this is the case on the Master System version. Because I have seen Fozon, who's a streamer here, he still does occasionally, but he was really grinding to go for a 100% run, to get the time down on Sonic for Master System. And actually, he created the video that chronicles the history of the 100% run for, the history of the time attack for Sonic on Master System. But I'm more familiar with the Game Gear version, so so now the flame jets come out in a set pattern. I'm not quite sure about... Oh, that was clumsy. Yeah, I'm not... The flame jets are consistent. It's the lightning ball that can be a little creepy, a little hairy. With, So, okay. Let's see if we can take out Robotnik and get our first on-stream 100% run. My second 100% run, but the last time I streamed it, it did not go well. Whereas this time we're having a rock-solid streaming experience so far. I reduced my bitrate a lot, but it doesn't seem... based on my test, it seems to be acceptable for yeah, it seems acceptable for what I'm trying to do. So let's see. Next time, as the middle is coming up... Oh. Okay. This is not going to be fast. I'm just going to take it easy. Once the lightning ball goes off screen, I'm going to go for it. Yeah, I feel good once the lightning ball goes off screen. Once the lightning ball goes off screen. Okay, I think I found... I don't know if it's a consistent pattern that will be valid on all playthroughs, but for this moment here, I feel I've got it down good. Oh, I thought I had the clearance to jump over there. Apparently, either Sonic's jump in general. Yeah, I adjusted some settings. I reduced my bit rate a little bit. Well, actually a lot, but I'm not playing, a 60 frames per second first-person shooter. I'm not streaming with a 1080p webcam, so reducing that bitrate seems to have a good result. This is my first attempt at 100%ing. Oh, sorry, I got distracted by running my mouth a bit, but that's on me. This is my first attempt since, hey Farron Boy, by the way. I mean, obviously I'm already talking to you, but I'm glad you could drop in with your strenuous lifestyle and catch me live. As I did a test. It's been an hour and 50 minutes since I went live, not a single drop frame, so I'm very happy with that result so far. My 13th stream, this is my 16th stream. My 13th stream a few weeks ago, I 100%ed it, but the stream was just a hot mess, and even the VOD wasn't salvageable. It was so wild. But we're gonna beat Robotnik with all Chaos Emeralds, and it's a little tricky here because the Chaos Emeralds in this version of the game are hidden throughout the stage itself. They are not hidden in the special stages, so you have to actually hunt for them in the stages, in the actual platforming stages. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till we get a good combo of. Ooh, doggone. Alright. Yeah, well, yeah, and I've got my console on stream here. I want to have a console cam, but, it's, webcams are in high demand right now, so... But it's good to just have it off to the side there. And I may have mentioned this to you before, Farron Boy. I don't remember if you were here for any of the Sonic streams when I was live, but I'm streaming this... well, you can type it, if you type in !Mega SG, it'll explain it. But this system, unlike the Retron systems, this system is able to play the game in real time off the cartridge, whereas the Retron systems, as I understand, they basically rip the ROM off the cartridge and then play it on an emulator that's on the system. Whereas here, we're playing off the cartridge in real time in a way that's more accurate to the original system. Really, I don't care so much about emulation versus FPGA so much as I'm interested in just being able to play my childhood cartridge. Well, just being able to have Game Gear cartridge compatibility at whatsoever. But especially when it comes to being able to play being able to play the games in real time and just being able to play Game Gear cartridge in HD. Because I could use PC emulation, and I will for maybe some... Well, I'll probably get an EverDrive for rare Sega games, but I just wanted to play it in a higher quality than what that is. I just like to play it as authentically as possible, and it was important to me. I really wanted to represent, put in some work, and there's not a lot of people stream Game Gear. I know Gunstar Heroes here on Twitch does a lot of awesome Game Gear streams. Oh no, I was clumsy. I wasn't considering because the flame jets come out in a specific order. So if you follow that order, you're not going to get hit by the flame jets. The real concern is being hit by the lightning ball. And if you're standing here when the lightning ball leaves the launcher, you will not be hit by it. Whereas, well, that was just clumsy. Whereas there, because I was, yes, I don't know why they just programmed the lightning ball to be this one spot on the left. If you stand here, and I do have a backup game planned for when I beat this, so stay tuned for that. It'll be another 8-bit Sega game. I think I got him twice there. Let's see. So now it'll appear on the right. Next it'll appear on the left. I mean, in the middle. Yeah, I think I only heard one sound effect, but I do think I'm getting in 2 hits on him. So right, now it'll be middle. Now once the lightning ball goes out of frame, I know I could safely stand at my spot. Now this time, okay, we seem to be doing good so far. The real key is to get back to the spot before the lightning ball leaves the launcher, because wherever Sonic's standing, in terms of his x-axis, will determine how the lightning ball acts. But when I get on the right, there we go, we got it. That's GG. Well, there we go. I'm right behind you, Eggman. And so the ending for the 100% ending for Sonic on Game Gear, I believe is, unironically, it is superior to the Genesis version, because in the... So he's going to pull out the Chaos Emeralds. Now, in the Genesis version, at this point, he's surrounded by the animal friends, and he just does a thumbs up at the camera with a big close-up in on his sprite. And here, he uses the Chaos Emeralds to clear the island of Robotnik's pollution, which, given the themes of the... And now, this scene here of the map screen, the Genesis version did not have any depiction of the island this game takes place on. But the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I happen to have the still unopened DVD of right here, which will be inverted because I've flipped my camera, because I think it makes more sense when I'm looking... It looks like my camera's looking at the the layout where I have the game screen, so my camera's actually inverted right now. And that version, there's the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog is the only one that has a depiction of what Sonic's world is like. So when they went back and when they made the Sonic movie, they actually, when they depict Sonic's world at the beginning and the island that he's living on with Longclaw, they actually use the 8-bit version of the island we just saw here as... Now, in this tradition of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I just happen to have nearby, but did not have this set up as a prop, In the tradition of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, when we defeat Robotnik, we go to Olive Garden. So, we will watch through the rest of the ending here with this convincingly photoshopped image of me at Olive Garden. Of course, takeout in this age of the plague. We'll be ordering takeout from Olive Garden, and really just appreciating the Sonic, Ancient, which I believe was actually formed to produce this game in particular. They had an interesting. They had to produce They took a game which was somewhat made, rearranging an original music by Yuzo Koshiro, the famous video game composer. Did an awesome job reimagining the soundtrack, and I think his version of Scrap Brain obviously superior. Original tracks like the Bridge Zone theme, which was the theme, which was adapted, which was Lunarian SG, yeah, unrelated to My Lunarians. The version of Sonic for this version of Sonic that's on. We'll just let the attract mode play a little bit they basically all play for a minute. Let's play for a minute. No pressure now. I can free to mess up as much as I need to. Let's go out of Olive Garden mode. There we go. We will. So let's break down this stage. That'll be fun. Let's break down this stage. So we have this game that was made to be a showcase of the newest Genesis game, because remember, Genesis was out for 88, 89. It was out for a couple of years before Sonic came along. Because it came out, I think, in 88 or 89, whereas this came out in 91. And Genesis was already doing well, but they didn't have a strong mascot character. They were kind of relying on their Mickey Mouse license to have some good Sonic game. Yeah, so everyone loves the all-you-can-eat breadsticks. But you run. So you have this 16-bit game that was supposed to be a powerhouse of the Genesis and make a game that's faster and cooler than Mario. And now they have to take this 16-bit game and make an 8-bit version of it. And they didn't have quite, when you lose rings in this version, you can't collect them. Maybe it was too complicated to have all the rings. Later Sonic games did pull it off, being able to recollect rings. So they didn't quite have the expertise or the confidence to do the loop-de-loops. So what do we have instead? We have ramps to give Sonic a sense of speed in this first level. I think this is the longest in terms of the y-axis. In terms of the x-axis, the longest horizontal stage. You have a speed shoes icon, the only one in the game. Oh, we have lost my rings there. So that's the only speed shoes icon in the entire game. So we have the ramp, the launch of Sonic high up in the air. We have the speed shoes icon. And those things together, for this first level, give a nice sense of speed when they're otherwise really wouldn't. It's hard to pull off the sense of speed. So they really played to the strengths of what the Game Gear was, or the 8-bit hardware in general, whether it's Game Gear or Master System. They made this with Master System in mind, and then they adapted it for the Game Gear. And in doing that, they made a game where, they played to the 8-bit hardware strengths. They played to the Game Gear and Master System strengths. They could have made a shoddy port where they tried to recreate one-for-one Sonic the Hedgehog. Instead of doing that, they're like, Yuzo Koshiro actually did a remix of... Now, look at this here. We have to... That floor on the right is a false bottom. We have to fall down there to continue through the stage, but they had the foresight to put an exclamation mark here to warn you that you're going to fall through the floor. Now, here's something that would have made the Genesis version better. There are those infamous parts, especially in Green Hill Part 1, where it encourages you to go real fast, and then there's suddenly spikes or some kind of trap or an enemy it knocks you into, or a spring that bounces you back and makes you lose a lot of progress. How about when you're going real fast, they put in an exclamation mark sign that you can see just on the edge of the screen to give you a cue to, oh, watch out, a trap's coming up, or maybe a speed limit sign, or something like that. Now, this sign does not exist in the Master System version, but either way, it's kind of funny that they put it there because you have to fall down there in order to progress through the stage. Let's play through. Now here's our. Let's play through the first. Let's play through. Excuse me. How many times am I going to say let's play through? Yeah, let's play through the first. Let's play through Sonic. Let's play through the Game Gear version of. Let's play through to the end of Green Hill Zone. Or maybe through the end of Bridge Zone? Nah, let's just play through the end of Green Hill. And then we'll move on to the next game that I have lined up. And we'll see what happens at that point. And there's the Chaos Emerald. Just showing off the layout of the stage here. It's really fun playing this with no real pressure to perform. Not having to worry about, I have to get the run in, I have to satisfy my goals for the stream. At this point, everything at this point on is just a bonus. We've been live for an hour and a half at this point. Well, actually an hour and 20 minutes. An hour and a half since I pressed the Go Live button, but I was on my hold screen for 10 minutes to give viewers a chance to show up. You have another ramp here that launches you super high. So you have a nice sense of going through the game. A nice sense of speed. You feel that even... that's what I was going into. Playing to the Game Gear strengths. Yuzo Koshiro did remix the Marble Zone theme, which is the second zone in the game and the Genesis version. He remixed it like they might have been planning to try to adapt Marble Zone, but I guess they decided for the strengths of the hardware, Marble Zone was not a good fit. And so instead they made a new zone called Bridge Zone that is more platforming oriented, lots of bridges and platforms, some physics puzzles, believe it or not. Now here, Robotnik, his pattern, I could take him out in one cycle if I wanted to. He's a total pushover. If you watch some commentary from streamers of the Master System version of this, they'll often lament that they cannot just one cycle Robotnik as it is possible to do in this version. I could have just came in and just blasted him to heck right off the bat. So let's move on to now I would typically probably switch straight to I don't need to switch consoles or anything, so we won't go with our hold music, but we have our next game ready here. You can see it sort of hiding in the corner there when I was in full screen. We have Sonic the Hedgehog for the Master System. This was the final game to be released on the Master System in North America. This was never released in Japan. So actually when you see different compilations on different systems, like in the PlayStation 2 and GameCube had some compilations of Sega and Sonic games, or as a bonus feature in Sonic Adventure DX and in Sonic Gems Collection and Sonic 2 Battle, I think it was also unlockable. You had the 8-bit version of Sonic, but it was always the Game Gear version, which annoyed European and South American fans who were used to the Master System version. But in Japan, the Master System version never came out, so in the game sort of home market, the Game Gear version is the one that's going to be more fondly remembered because no one played the Master System version back then in Japan. It came out in America in limited quantities, and what they actually did for the North American release of this is they took the European version of Sonic on Master System. Oh, you're entering a Sam's Club store. Do I have them in my area? Yeah, we do. But I don't... there's a BJ's that's closer. And so I usually... when I do my warehouse club shopping, it's where I usually shop there. They took the European boxes, they put in they took stickers and put them over the UPC of the European version. They put in a unique UPC for America and released it in limited quantities, kind of as a goodbye message, kind of to the Master System North America, where it did not sell good because Nintendo had a stranglehold over the market in North America. And so if you have, the North American version of this is very rare. It could go for hundreds of dollars. But if you have the cartridge only, it is worthless. This game is maybe the equivalent of $5 to $10 in Europe, and you could import this. This is compatible. I believe this is compatible with. It clearly is compatible with the North American Sega Master System because it just took those game boxes and brought them over here and put a different UPC sticker on it. You could only sell Basically, when you buy the North American version of this game, which goes for hundreds of dollars, it's very rare because it only shipped in limited quantities in North America, you're basically buying the box. Because with cartridge only, this game is worthless if you have the North American version. The North American version is described is defined exclusively by the fact of its unique box. So here you can see this is my childhood cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog and the cartridge adapter. This is the version 1.1 of the adapter. If you have the 1.0, which I do have, well, I destroyed it, I believe, at this point. But the 1.0 version of this is actually will eventually cause your system to never again be able to play Game Gear games. So they had to send out a revision, which they sent, Analog sent it free of charge. For all the complaints about Analog of the pricing of their systems and the surprise manner in which they open up pre-orders. So we now have our Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge installed there. And we are ready to play. I've got the layout ready to go. We're going to play Sonic the Hedgehog for the Master System, and we'll see the difference between the Master System version and the Game Gear version. Now, they are on the Master System version, they are huge loading seams in the corners of the screen, and those, when you play an emulated version, like on a PC emulator, or when you play on with the Wii Virtual Console, you will see these huge seams on the bottom and right, which mostly would have been covered up by a TV of the time period. So we have I took some template somewhere of some TV. So we're just going to load it up here, and we'll see. We'll compare the Game Gear version to the Sega Master System version. Now, if you're playing this on a real Master System, you know that the infamous Sega chime. And the Master System version, there was actually an 8-bit two-tone version of it without the voice sample, where it's just just this two 8-bit beeps. But they cannot recreate that here because that is loaded on the Master System firmware, or the ROM file, I guess it's on the console itself. Whereas with the Analog Mega SG, they cannot use the actual Master System operating system that would be redistributing copyrighted material from Sega, and so they don't want to get in trouble for doing that. So we don't get it here. It just loads straight up. So you can see already, compared to the title screen, a much smaller title screen. Let's let the attract mode play a bit. I'm going to take away the frame. Now the frame, the loading seams are usually the same color as. You can see on the left and on the bottom, these, well, it gets, to my eyes, I just see this massive, this looks huge to me, just seeing all this game on the screen at once. And you can see the loading seams on the bottom and on the left, that when we have the frame, well, we'll let it load up again, well, I can just go ahead and press start. Yeah, now the screen, you have more real estate, but the game, the characters and everything looks so tiny to me in this version. Sonic actually, well, I could press start. That's, yeah, I could pause. Oh, yeah, there's with the frame. I'm looking at my bracket. Yeah, so when you have an actual TV, the curvature of the frame blocks out most of the loading screen, whereas without the frame, without it, you see a whole lot of stuff you probably wouldn't have actually seen on a period television. Yeah, we have Sam's Club in my area, Clackaboy, but 10. Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Okay, let's restart right there, because I'm actually going to need every life I can get for this. This is not the version of Sonic I'm used to, and it is. You can see the differences. It is just familiar enough to seem familiar, but. I'm just looking, this is so weird to me. This is like entering the parallel universe where things are so similar, but they're just slightly off, and you're like, wait, what's going on? This seems slightly not right? Okay. I'll play for maybe an hour and call it there. We'll see what happens, depending on how the stream goes. Yeah. Okay, let's keep moving. Yeah, the layout is slightly different. Oh my... Like, the physics, I can't... Sonic's stuck up on the hill. He is Gordon going up the hill right now. Oh, you're looking into a new TV? Well, yeah, the thing about those warehouse clubs is that, unlike... Whereas many... Like, if it's... When you go to Best Buy, there are people who are more technically knowledgeable. Whereas because places like Sam's Club and BJ's and Costco, because they're more general type of stores, or like Walmart, well, Walmart may have an actual electronics section, I don't know, but like the clubs at least, they tend to have people that, if you ask for help with TVs, they'll just call probably the person who is collecting shopping carts, and if they don't already happen to know a lot about the TVs, they're basically can just read you what's on the box. So you kind of have to do a lot of your own homework when you're shopping for TVs at a place like that. Now you can get really great deals though. So I know, like at BJ's, to use coupons, you actually so that as people are handling as few physical objects as possible, so that objects aren't changing hands between the customers and the cashiers. I think I don't use coupons much, but last time I was there, it made it seem like you had to do all your coupons digitally with the store app, and I guess you had to type in your membership card number, and it would link it with the registers at the store, so that when you cashed out, your coupons that you looked at and clicked on the app would automatically apply to your purchase. I don't know if they're doing something like that, or if there are any TVs. Now here, look at this. Look at this. There's no warning sign this time. There's no warning sign about the false floor. So we have a major difference there already. Grab. No, just the no. Okay, this is still here. This one-up area is still here. Man, it's just amazing. Now this is true of a lot of Master System games, and actually my camera, the way I have this cropped, here, I think there's actually even more to the loading seam. There's more loading seam than even appears on in the frame here. So I'm just this huge loading seam just really. Now this is typical of a lot of Master System games actually. When people who are just into Master System for the first time play, they often think something's wrong. They didn't adjust their screen settings right or something. But no, there actually is a gigantic loading screen, a loading seam. Now they put this blue over here. They map it. They cover it. They mask it with blue. But if you were to actually see what's going on, what you'd be seeing is different parts of the game screen that are kind of jumbled up into a disarray of madness. You can actually see loading streams like that in a lot of later NES games that use different chips and different methods to have better visuals than what the base NES can do. It's like Super Mario Bros. 3, Kirby's Adventure. Those games I know have loading seams. Super Mario Bros. 3 in particular has a really sort of infamous loading seam on it. And it's one of those, the loading seam in Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of those things I didn't really notice until someone pointed it out to me. And there's actually this, I've seen several screenshots, infamously, of people on game forums. Well, I know one instance on the IGN forum, which I still go on because I hate myself or something like that. Okay, so you can hear me. Well, I'm glad my audio quality alone is apparently enough to carry the stream for you. When you go back and take a glance at the VOD, you can see how very different the screen, the layout is here as compared to the Game Gear version. Woo! Oh wow, that's okay. I've passed the point of no return, but even that lower part, that last part, once you go past that jump on the ramp, was very different. Now here we're gonna see the special stage. Let's take a swig of water there. See the special stage and how very different it is compared to the Game Gear version. Here, when we pause here, the springs are different. You have in the Game Gear version, these are all purple springs. Here they are purple springs, yellow springs, and green springs, and they all bounce you different heights. Let's see here. The green ones bounce you super high. The purple ones don't bounce you that high. The yellow one bounces you in between. So we're going to take the green spring here. So you have to really plan around the stage layout. It's not... And you have a much more strict time limit, too. So we're just going to go here. We're going to get our continue, which we very well may end up needing, because this is not a matter of us just breezing through. 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Okay, we got our 100 rings, so we could leave the stage without bowing our heads in shame. And no matter what, you will always get Robotnik at the end of the special stage. You can't get any other sort of bonuses. This screen is gigantic. I mean, I can't... I mean, I'm not playing it up, but it's really bizarre just seeing all this screen real estate and playing the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, here we're going to see a very different... We're going to see the Robotnik fight, the version, the speedrunners of... Well, actually, I think... Okay, down here... Okay, here's our hidden one-up. I think typically in the Game Gear version I'm already on 9 or more lives, just based on all the in the special stages alone. Here's Robotnik. He has no Wrecking Ball, but I just cannot reach him. I cannot reach him. I think there's a frame-perfect align with frame-perfect timing if you're very lucky. Yeah, it's very difficult to one-cycle Robotnik in this version. As he's going back and forth here, I have to get super lucky. Yeah, there we go. Now we've taken him out. And yeah, and Sonic actually has his nose in this version. The Sonic sprite in the Game Gear version doesn't have a nose, which is not something I really noticed until recently, and once... It's one of those things that, as they say, you cannot unsee. So, last time this happened, I really didn't have anyone... I didn't have anyone to watch it with me. Let's go ahead and full screen my capture software, my broadcast software. And now we have Bridge Zone here. We already have a different zone layout, because at the beginning of Bridge Zone on Game Gear, it's just a flat plane here, and it's much shorter before the purple lawnmower guy shows up. That's what, yes, I don't know what those things are called, but I just call them purple lawnmowers. The spiky dudes that I don't think show up until Spring Yard Zone in the Genesis version. And I have not played the Genesis version since maybe at least a decade. And at that, when I have played it, it is not... the first version of this I ever owned was the version on the Wii Virtual Console, because I never had a Genesis as a kid. Actually, the Mega SG right here is the first system I owned that could play Genesis cartridges. And we're going to let it on that third bounce. I remember my father having to help me figure that only within the first hour of owning the Game Gear. Just sitting in the chair, getting my hair done for the first time, getting my hair braided. And my parents gave me the Game Gear. And I really didn't... my dad had to help me figure out what to do at that point with that... where there's that scale thing with the weight on one side. And we're... Okay, we have 60 lives. We don't want to get to 100, because if we get to 100 lives, the game will roll over from 100 lives back down to 0. Now, I'm taking hits here just because I'm not used to this enemy placement still. Yeah, these puzzles here, well, it's a puzzle if you don't know what's going on. It's just a really casual obstacle if you don't. But if you don't know what to do there, that can be very confusing. Here we go. I believe... Funnily enough, in the Game Gear version, I think this platform is much wider. I think in the Game Gear version, it would be harder to get to it. Now, I am not going to... Well, let's see. Let's see if I can... Well, you don't want to get 100 coins, because it'll roll over and I won't be able to... I'll have to collect another 50. had a much easier time getting that than I did, you know, well, it's cool. I just considered this my last run. It wasn't a single credit run. You know, if it wasn't for those cheap deaths and careless deaths in Labyrinth, that would have been a 0 credit run up until Robotnik. So someday when I come back to this, I could maybe grind for single credit runs. And the main thing I'll have to practice is the Robotnik boss fight. So that'll be interesting to give a shot someday. Yeah, really unforgiving time limits with these bonus stages here, these special stages. I like how they made all these springs purple because there's not. Oh, come on, come on, give me what I deserve. Okay. I was nuzzling. How could that is so? That is full Bobo. How am I not collecting the continue? That is not fair. Oh, come on. You saw me. I collected it. I was right up on it. That was some tuchus. That was some tuchus. That was right up. What was going on with that? It just was not letting me collect the box. I don't know why it just wasn't registering the hit of me. I guess I was nuzzling up against it instead of breaking it. And we have, I didn't really mention this last time. I was playing the Game Gear version, but this level is kind of infamous in Sonic history for being one of the few auto-scroller levels in a Sonic game, in a side-scrolling Sonic game. And okay, I beat him, but it also registered me as taking damage? I don't know. So I lost my shield right there. Yeah, well, now, when this is a European cartridge, but it's playing at full speed here. Because it's not that it's the console, because it's the European Master System consoles, and many consoles in the 90s, even into the 2000s, had weird problems with the frame rate being is different, and they didn't really translate the game properly. So I remember when YouTube first became a thing, looking at videos of people playing like the Genesis version of Sonic. A lot of people from the UK and Europe would go into videos of Americans playing Sonic the Hedgehog at its originally intended speed and saying, "Oh, why are you playing it sped up?" Because to them, I think the game is like 30% faster or something like that. If you hear them side by side, you can hear a very obvious difference. The music is it's deeper in tone, and to me, it seems a lot slower. So people who are used to the Master System, or used to the PAL versions of the games, and mind you, and YouTube, this is the first time the internet, even if we're talking between, regions about these games, oh shucks, it's not a death I usually take. When we have European and North American gamers for the first time seeing our opposing versions of the games, I mean, I'm just sort of like, geez, like, how do I taking all these deaths? I should normally have 9 or more than 10 lives by now. I wouldn't know necessarily offhand, because once you get to 9, at least in the Game Gear version, it stops counting the extra lives that you're getting, and you can only see those lives on the scoreboard screens at the end of each stage. It was only really once YouTube came around and we were watching each other play our various versions of Sonic the Hedgehog that we were like, okay, why is your version so slow? Why are you playing it slowed down? And then European and UK people would look at a video of the original version, the full-speed NTSC version, and be like, why are you playing Sonic sped up? Like, what's wrong with you? And so we very quickly figured out what was going on. So it was interesting having that. Another thing that kind of came about that I feel like from my perspective, it really wasn't until the YouTube age that I started seeing a lot of American gamers refer to the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES as it was often called, as the NES, whereas in the UK and Europe, they were, if you watch like Stuart Ashens, he often calls the NES the NES, or European gamers will typically call the NES the NES. Maybe Japan does it too, I don't know too much about them, but in the NES in North America, I always heard them people would always refer to the NES, to the Nintendo Entertainment System, as NES for short. Now, if you're here for the Game Gear version of this, you can see how different this is compared to the UK version. Compared to the Game Gear version. But they would always say NES, but in Europe. And then and we have the UK and people making YouTube videos and a lot of North American gamers watching it. I feel like especially North American gamers who were not old enough to have seen a lot of the North American advertising for the Nintendo Entertainment System, because in the voiceovers in North America, the official voiceovers would say, oh, Dr. Mario on Game Boy and NES, or Tetris 2 now on NES and Game Boy, and Kirby's Adventure they'd say on the NES. They'd say NES. They'd say out the letters. And there was something maybe a year or two ago where someone from North America said something in an interview or something where they said, oh, it is officially called NES. Like you say it is NES officially, which is totally rewriting history, because even official Nintendo of America commercials for and Nintendo Entertainment System games refer to the system as the NES. Whereas I guess in the UK and Europe, people just tended to call it they call it the NES or the SNES or Super NES. That was never a thing I saw North American gamers refer to it as, either in person or on YouTube, and like when making videos. I never heard people call it that until the YouTube era, when a lot of North American gamers, especially North American gamers who were not around for those, when they were still airing commercials for NES games. And I will not state my age, not that that's not a secret I really take seriously. I'm just amused by, apparently I have a very ambiguous physical appearance, where people can't quite tell how old or young I am. But I am old enough to have been watching television when they were still doing promotion for NES games. And they would say Game Boy and NES if a game was on the NES. They'd say that on commercials. The earliest commercials, the earliest commercials would actually always say Nintendo Entertainment System, but later on they would say NES. They would not say NES. So there's that. And so that, and talking about the frame rate differences. Now this version of Jungle Zone is, I was gonna say this, I'm really out of my depths here as Sonic drowns in water. I'm very out of my depth in terms of the level layout. This is where the level layout starts to become very different. And about a year ago, when I got my Mega SG here that I'm playing this on, I was playing this on a huge TV. It's so weird just seeing an 8-bit Sonic game playing on this huge HD TV and looking absolutely gorgeous. But playing this game, and because I could not play my Game Gear cartridges on it yet. I did not have that set. Well, I didn't have the adapter yet. The adapter didn't come out until close to a year later. Well, the better part of a year later. And then once it came out, they had to. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think it's further. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's much further along in this version. That. Actually, if I have enough momentum, I can jump to that platform. Ah, I called it. I can actually jump. Yeah, the waterfall. The frame rate's the same on the waterfall. Oh yeah, I got it. I made it. Because I was a little risky right there. I could have went south very, very easily. But yeah, I'm getting I remember losing a lot of lives. Actually, getting a game over, I think once or twice. I did not get any further than Jungle Zone when I played the Master System version of Sonic, and really, that was the last time, up until right now, that I've played Sonic on Master System. I really was just playing it as a test of the system's capabilities. And Sonic 1 I have not played in a decade, and before that I never really played it back in the day. I never got further than Starlight Zone in Sonic for Game Gear. I mean, on Sonic, the original Sonic for Genesis. Yeah, I did not get any further than that. And I've not played it since 2010-ish on the Virtual Console. Man, you're starting me off with less than a minute. They are not fooling around with these bonus stages. They do not let you just farm lives in this home console version of the 8-bit Sonic game. But if I can get that continue, let me collect it this time. Come on, there we go. Come on, there we go. That's what I want to see. I want to use the purple spring to get right over there. And we're just gonna... I don't care about the extra life. Oh, no. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. This is... Oh, come on. Yeah, they are not playing around with these bonus stages in the actually, let me update my... It just occurred to me. Let me update my my category. I'm out of my depth, and Sonic for the Sega Master System will take away. Let's go ahead. Yeah, sorry about that. Now we're back to... Okay, I got the bottom, the screen effect there. Oh, now this level... Okay, it's the first time I've got here on stream. But what's going on right here is we have our vertical scrolling level, and as you can see, that anything that scrolls down past the bottom of the screen no longer exists, and I will die if I fall. Which is ridiculous, because what in Sonic's world is making the platforms phase out of existence? It is like Contra, Kid Icarus type logic. I don't understand how it works. They made the right... Well, they did away with this in the Game Gear version just because the screen, you have so much less space to work in that it would have been even less fair than it is here. But aside from that, it's just better game design. I know maybe some... it just doesn't make any sense to me why they would make the... Why would the platforms not exist from them going off screen? It's not like the game can't handle it. Do they think they would make it too easy? I don't know. Like, if I lost on one of those logs, I think I'd be SOL, because I don't think there's an alternate path up the waterfall. I think we're at the top now. No, not yet. Not yet. We still have some way to go. Oh! Look at that! I was like one atom. The screen was like... The ground was like one atom off... The ground was one atom off screen, and I counted that as falling to my death. That is some garbage. This is not fair. This is just bad game design. That was a bad choice. Like, but... I mean, this is part of why I switched to the Master System version, to show you the differences here between the home console and now I'm... Okay. Now I can't see that one up. It scrolled off screen. I cannot get it. It is no longer exists in Sonic's world. When Sonic looks down, like, you can see what's above him, but when he looks down, it is a bottomless pit, and there's that he cannot... I don't get it. I feel like the stage is a lot longer in this version, too. Really playing up the verticality of it all. Okay. At some point it's gonna... Okay, I think we made it. We made it. And we lost all our rings, because I think we were actually on track to... I think we were on track to beat... Okay. This is the... Wow, I remember dying a lot... Okay, now, our ring... Okay, there's our... wow, it is much easier to jump out of the water in this stage in the Master System version compared to the Game Gear version. The Game Gear version, they like didn't quite, because you can see how they adapted the spot, but they didn't quite make it so that you can properly jump up on the platform. So you sometimes, earlier today in the stream, it went fine where I could just jump straight up, but in the Game Gear version, I'm like jumping, oh, I can't make it, I can't make it. I have to like almost clip through the edge of that block there. Now, this, ooh, okay, for a second I thought we were going on the logic of the last stage, where if something scrolls off screen, it no longer exists. Because the boss stages, if you do not have bringing a shield from the last stage is the only way you could take a hit. Because this is the only Robotnik boss fight that has no particular trick where there's a safe spot you could stand or a unique pattern that you could use to be able to avoid risking damage. So it's a little scary, this boss fight, from a casual perspective. In a speedrunning perspective, you're taking huge risks as you fight the bosses anyway to get through quicker. So it's not as big a deal when things don't quite. You're not. Yeah, the idea for me as a casual player is what I'm trying to get. I think those are different animals than the ones that come out of the roboticizer in the Game Gear one. I'll have to look on the VOD and check that out. Okay, so we're up at the top half of the screen now, and we're at Labyrinth. Now let's see. Now this is the furthest I've ever gotten in the Master System version of this game, and I think we're gonna play through till we either get a game over. Okay, this is already very different, and it seems like potentially much more maze-like. Now, when I'm falling, I don't quite have the... Okay. This is a different kettle of fish from the Game Gear version already. Oh! Is that what it wants me to do? Get the shield and then phase through to here? I mean, there's stuff I know that it makes you do to get the Chaos Emerald here. Now, please be... Okay, thank you for the air bubble. I mean, that's the designated spot where the air bubble's supposed to appear, but as we know, we can't seriously rely on it actually appearing. Because you can just stand there, and the game just lets you suffocate to death underwater. Which is lovely. Okay, we took the damage from the spikes there. Okay, I don't care about the shield as much as I care about getting an... Okay, and once I get this air here, now I can go back, because I have no ring, so I definitely need the shield. Yeah, I do not want to risk losing... I'm just watching the timing of those spikes, the spike there. Okay, so we have rings again, which is good. We want to have rings. Not too worried about collecting 50 because, as we can see, the bonus stages are kind of useless for getting extra lives and stuff anyway. But got our 1-up. Excuse me. What is going on here? Okay, I almost clipped through the floor to even... Alright, butthole. Oh. Okay. Unless I could... Oh! Okay. I don't think I realized... Perhaps I... Okay. So now another thing to do is troll Orbinaut into launching his spiked orbs. Then I could really... He's really defenseless. Oh, the time limit for the air bubbles is much less forgiving in this version, it seems like. So, because I'm used to the Game Gear version, and this is just familiar enough to seem at home, but it's just different enough to really throw me for a loop in terms of some of these, how some of this stuff works. Alright, so a shield, well I got air, and I got the I feel like this, there's some kind of antechamber like this in the Game Gear version, and it doesn't quite make sense to go there. It's kind of like a remnant of this game's design. Okay. I feel like the water physics are much more... I feel much more... The water slows Sonic down so much more in this version. Let me get my air bubble. We're gonna get some air. Yeah, it's feeling it's much harder for me to... I don't know what that switch does in the... Oh, wait. Is that... Oh, that's cool. I don't... Is that what that does in the Game Gear version? Because there's a switch I always thought that seemed pointless. But is that... That switch turns the ring into a 1-up. Okay, we cleared Labyrinth Act 1. And, oh, we got an... We're doing good. Could it be that we end up beating Sonic for Master System tonight? Because if we do, I might have to change my plans for future streams, because my next stream is just going to be Sonic for Master System. But if we beat it tonight, I don't know. Alright, I won't mind having to redo the images and plans I made for... Okay. If this is like what I'm expecting... Yeah! We got up in this area. You need fast reflexes to get here. We got a nice little cache of coins here. So I think it's I don't think there's that sort of looping thing going on where you're winding through the corridor. Oh, we lost our shield and the rings. So we kind of... Was there a 1-up there at least? Because, oh, well, I think I have more than 9 lives at this point, which would mean... I tried to jump up high enough to get some air. Okay, the spring does that for me here. Now, I know that I don't think there's anything worthwhile up to the left in the Game Gear version, but there's a different kettle of fish. So, let's check out what we can get our hands on, what we could avail our... Oh, shucks. I probably should just... Oh, no. Okay, there's an Orbinaut there, and I think there's like a ring box or something dumb like that. At least in the Game Gear version there is. So we're not gonna worry about... I'm not gonna worry about that. Just gonna get the... Oh. Didn't quite... Yeah. So, yeah, I'm worried. I want to get some rings. I want to get a ring somewhere. So that I'm protected if I hit an enemy or a spike or something. Okay, we at least got an air bubble. Okay, we got rings. We got air not too long ago. That one's gonna... Oh wow, that 1-up is in a much easier spot to navigate in the... Oh, come on. Going up, thank you. Alright. 3. I think the countdown's faster too. They really did... Oh, there we go. I mean, they really did nerf the difficulty for the handheld version, which is fine, which is just as well because I feel like a little kid's more likely to be playing the handheld version. Oh, I was being impatient. I should have... The same spot here in the Game Gear version, I had the same problem where I was being impatient and I jumped the gun. Oh, I did it again. I did it a doggone again. Now, if I could get that... Oh, okay. Now, I'm probably... there's a chance I may run out of air here, but I have more than 9 lives, and I got the continue. and we got the air here too. So I was prepared to take a death there. And I was like, at least we got the continue box, so I'm not too worried. Oh, well, not the continue box, but the checkpoint box. I remember playing the Genesis version, not realizing what those gate things that turn from red to blue were. I didn't realize that was the checkpoint. There we go. Now, let's see if this works like I think it will. I don't care about 100%. Okay, I'm not taking a death for this experiment. But there's, I believe you do need to get that exclamation mark box in order to get the Chaos Emerald here. Oh, I have no rings. I do not want to take... You know what? There is no place in the Game Gear version where there are these fireball lion things that exist outside of the water. So that's new. That's unique to the Master System version. Now, a passage like that is kind of where the Robotnik fight, I think... Yeah, you have to get... That's what you have to... Look at that. You have to get the invincibility block and use the damage boost to get through the rings there in order to collect the Chaos Emerald. I think... Can you do the damage boost using nothing but the rings? I don't know. But I'm not going to spend a life on it finding out. I'm not trying to 100% Sonic on Master System. I 100% of the Game Gear version. I'd just like to... It would be really neat if I can get to... If I could beat the Master System version of this tonight. Because if I don't know what the boss in Labyrinth, this version of Labyrinth is like. If we successfully beat Master System, I do have another game lined up. I'd have to do an intermission to get it. It is a Sega game. But let's Oh, how is it? That okay? Well, we already have physics that act nothing like the Game Gear version there. There we go. I have to very carefully navigate this, or else I'll end up losing. Oh, I'm not going for that again. That is so much riskier than the Game Gear version, and I'm not going through that just to get an extra life. I'm not going to spend lives to try to get lives. And now I'm below 9 lives, and we're fighting a boss we've never fought before. If I could get through him, if I can get through this, the water slows me down so much. I cannot You know what? I'm not going for the bottom. I'm not going to strike him from the bottom when he comes up from the bottom. I'm not going to go there anymore. Because the water slows you down so much more in this version of the game. I'm very certain of that. Because in the Game Gear version, I could hop on him in the middle, then bounce over to the right platform. Here, it is just... Let's see if my safe spot still works. It doesn't quite seem to work. Okay, it seems like my pattern is still going to work. My pattern's actually going to work, after all. Is this... Okay, it seems like the pattern is going to work. Or at least the theory behind it. I'm not going to try to jump... If I play this right, I'm gonna have a good time. If I play this right... Yeah, it's a little riskier. It's a little more dangerous, this version, for sure. But if I do this correctly... It's tricky trying to jump. To time my jump. But I can... Okay, I just trick him into shooting the torpedo to the left, then I stand to the right and I don't even have to jump over it. I think I've got this, I say, cursing myself. Jinxing it all. Yeah, you just have to jump with the right timing. You have so much time between the launch of the missile and getting over far enough, although the torpedo, because it's underwater, it is known as a torpedo. Above water is called a missile. So, excuse me. Dodge the bullet, jump, and dodge the torpedo. Okay, we got him. Now, what I'm paranoid about is that gap. Okay, we made it. We're good. We're into Scrap Brain. I can't believe we're into Scrap Brain. Now we're gonna see how much they change these levels, because if the solution to the maze changed, this could take a while. But if I do good on lives in Scrap Brain, I have a decent chance at beating Robotnik tonight. Now I feel like the blinking... Do not press up. I do feel like the blinking lights here are much faster than in the Game Gear version. Excuse me, got a little belch coming on. There we go. Now, let's see how this goes. Yeah, little things like the lights, some lights blinking faster stand out to me after, you know, after most of my life of just playing I think there's a caterpillar there in the game. Okay. We're going for it. Yes, we got it. We got it. Yeah, and there are a couple of, if they're in the same spot and have the same solution to get to them, there are a couple more extra lives I'm going to be able to collect here in Scrap Brain. Ooh, the timing for those is different. There's like there were caterpillars there I see they put those. Okay, we're through. Yeah, there are no caterpillars here. Where are all the caterpillars? I guess they added them for the Game Gear version, but there are none here. Yeah, that was just for points because we're not getting. It seems like the. Okay, it seems like what they're getting at is that they're going to. Yeah, it seems as though we're gonna have a much easier time in Scrap Brain than I thought, because it's based on the first stage, which is pretty much a straight shot with no branching paths, really no enemies because there are no caterpillars, so there are no robot enemies in here. Okay. So if the solutions to the mazes are the same, because the one level after this is the real serious maze, where the maze is basically a substitute for fighting Robotnik properly. But if the paths through Scrap Brain 2 and 3 are the same as the Game Gear version, then I'm actually gonna probably be able to beat Robotnik tonight and beat the Master System version of the game. Hey, there's our first caterpillar of the... It kind of clipped through. It kind of gave us the clipping through the platform there. Oh boy, that was close. I think the flames come down much further in the Game Gear, in the Master System version. Okay. Okay. If we take the down path, if this works like in the Game Gear version, what we need to do is fall down this. There's going to be a little pig robot. Oh no, he's not there. But we're going to fall down to the bottom here on purpose. We're going to go to the left. Oh, I think it is. I think this is the same layout. We have a shot. We have a very... Okay. 9 lives. Lucky number... Sonic's not a hedgehog and not a cat, but he does have 9 lives. And I think I continue. I'm not sure. You can't view continues except for on the scoreboard scene. But okay, there's a little pig enemy. so we're gonna go down here. And keep... Because if we have to make this jump. Oh no! Okay, we have to go back around. Yeah, the jump is much trickier than in the Game Gear version, and it's funny because the Game Gear version, you have less space to work with, so the kind of assumption I would have made is that the Game Gear version would have the trickier jump there. But I guess it's just not quite as... Feeling more confident with these, I think there's little pig guys on the right sides of these chutes as well in the Game Gear version. They shoot... Those little pigs shoot fireballs, so you do not want to... Oh my gosh! Okay, we're gonna do this again. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna take more of a running start this time. Yeah, the biggest challenge I've had so far is just getting through that little jump there. The most challenge I've had in Scrap Brain. But it seems like it's gonna have the same level solution. We're gonna have to, if we successfully do it now, we're gonna have to go through here at least one more time, unless for some reason... Oh my goodness. You know what? I think I have to roll and jump. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. That was a harder part than I thought it would be. Well, I didn't think... If I was gonna have trouble here, I would have thought it would be because they added more enemies. Actually, there are fewer enemies, ironically. Or that the layouts for the maze would be totally different. Because we only have 7 minutes to beat the stage at this point. I'm not really worried about getting a time over. Which I've never done before on stream. I don't think I've even ever got a time over in casual gameplay. Okay, so we're gonna roll. Okay, we got it. Now, is this puzzle gonna be the same? It's the same. Alright. I'm not even gonna bother. Well, should I... Might as well go for the Chaos Emerald. Because it's pretty much free. Yes, and I realized as I was falling, I'm assuming it's in the same spot. That could be a death trap in this version. But it's not. The game is merciful. Have to... Oh my gosh. I mean, not that I care too much about the rings, but... I heard a bullet go off somewhere. What was that? Okay. Okay. I feel like those jumps were harder in the Game Gear version. One of the few things that, is harder in the Game Gear version. It's interesting how Sonic spawns looking to the right. I guess he always spawns looking to the right because there are not many vertical scrolling. Now this part we've already been through. And here's that shaft. This is gonna seem like we're running in circles, but this is actually the good result because we've hit that switch further ahead. The game remembers that, and it's going to allow us to access the pathway to the end of this stage. Okay. Gotta make this jump again. Okay, we did it. Yeah, in the Game Gear version, you can just jump across casually. In this one, it seems like they timed it very precisely, probably through lots of trial and error, to make it so that you have to do the B and roll as a ball and be at speed in order to safely... Oh my goodness! Talking about safely. Please let me through the end of the stage. Okay. I think there are no more enemies at this point. At this point, it just lets you... Oh! Oh, that was nasty. That was not laid out like it is in... Okay, at least it starts me here. But there are no rings here. Don't trust it. Oh my goodness. No, I cannot. I cannot. I was not supposed to be losing lives in Scrap Brain here. If this was the Genesis version, I would have beaten the stage already, but the placement of the traps haven't quite... yeah, the fire jets really pose more of a threat in this version. Because if they were fire jets in this part coming up in the Game Gear version, they're just much easier to dodge. Well, really, I was just jumping and I just wasn't expecting it to be there. But no Caterpillars here. And here comes... No, the next stage. At the end of the next stage, that's where Robotnik, where you face it. Yeah, because Robotnik is always in stage 3. If you remember that. Okay. And Scrap Brain. Okay. I have to focus. I have to remember the pattern from the Game Gear version. And if the pattern's the same, we should be able to beat this easily. Okay. I'm gonna be quiet, so I remember what stream. You go down. That's still just for decoration in this version. Is that straight down? Go. I'm not even going after this. Straight down. Straight down. Up. No. Up. Left. I think the rings are left. Up. And the next. Okay. Up. I think we got it. I think we got it. Left. Okay, we got it. Oh, that's okay. That is not in the Game Gear version. That is... I think I have to hit that again. Yeah, they put a gap there that's not in the Game Gear version. I think we're through the stage. Yeah, we're through. We're through. Guys, we're going... we're beating the 8 and 6... The home console and the Game Gear and Master System versions of Sonic the Hedgehog in one stream potentially tonight. If I game over, I want it to be on Robotnik. I'm probably gonna have to spend at least one life learning the pathway. Well, I might spend a few paths having. Well, we'll see how Skybase Act 1 goes. Yeah, we'll see how Skybase Act 1 goes. Because I don't know what to expect coming up on this. This is going to be... This is already different. Already very different. Okay. Oh yeah, this is already a very different sort of stage. Okay. There are no underhanging... I don't think there are underhanging cannons in the Game Gear version, so I was not expecting that one there. Oh! Okay, that's alright. That's why we leave rings behind, so we can come back. I love the searchlights. Like, they don't... like, on the left there, the searchlights, they don't have to... That just adds so much to the flavor of the... Oh! That bottomless pit is not in the... Definitely not in the Genesis version. And definitely not in the Game Gear version. Ooh! That was brutal. But, fortunately... Okay. You're not falling for that this time, literally. Literally will not fall for that. Okay. And... lightning... off. Ooh! Ah, the shield, very valuable. Very valuable. I think I have to go up here. Or not. I have no idea what's down here. Okay, I had to make a bit of a leap of faith because I couldn't see what was coming up next, so I was a little... I was a lot scared that... Because I'm probably gonna lose a couple of lives to leaps of faith in the next stage. Okay. I just want to see where the lightning will strike from, so I can plan my next... Oh, you... No! Okay, wow, that was very kind of the game to put something there to fall back on. Okay. Yeah, I did not expect... I thought I was going to fall to my death for a second. Okay. Okay. Doggone. This is tough. This is tough. But I'm getting more confidence. And now I'm just... Every time I die, it stings because I know I'm definitely going to need these lives for... I'm going to waste at least probably one life learning how to make the jump to get to the platform beneath the airship in Skybase 2. And once I do that, then I'm going to have... Okay, so that one shoots 2, then 4. I'm going to lose probably at least one life learning the platform jump in Skybase 2. And then there's the problem of Robotnik, because I don't know how this Robotnik fight works. I don't know the tricks or the timing to it. Ooh, I did not want to lose my rings that early. That was brutal. Well, that was it was really more carelessness. Touching I must have touched the cannon just as the... Okay. I must have touched the cannon just as the fireball was coming out. Oh. Okay, that was careless. Okay. Gotta clear my mind a bit and just focus on this. Okay. Jump up here. Oh! Okay. He phased up. You don't want, that's what we want. Some of these cannons seem to have variable firing rates. This one shoots 3, then 2. No, which is 4. Okay, I guess... I've seen some cannons, I'm very sure I've seen them shoot either 2, 3, or 4. And there doesn't seem to be any particular pattern to them. Now, we're hanging onto the shield. We have to the end of the stage. Official policy. Okay. Okay, we made that. We made that. We're doing good. Okay, we're doing good. Where's the Orbinaut? The Orbinaut's coming up. I remember very specifically one of the early Sonic Archie comics where they introduced this character. Oh! Well, at least I destroyed him so I can get through. And I still have my rings. This is further than we've gotten before. Okay. Gonna take the top path. Okay. Propeller. Okay. Oh, that hurt. But if this... I think we have at least one continue, maybe two if we're lucky. And each of those is good for 3 lives. So 1, 2... We have technically... We have possibly up to 8 lives right now. I do believe... But we're getting better and better at this. Okay. And still no drop frames, which I will take what I can get. I'm very happy with that. Because I don't know why the heck things went so crazy last time. Oh. Oh. Well, at least we found where there's a 1-up. So we take that. There's an 1-up and equivalent. Let's see how far to the left this... Okay, that was just alerting me too. Okay, so we can lure him far enough to the left that he's no longer a threat. And the position he's going on does seem specifically... Okay, this should be... Now we're up to here again. I guess you know, it just occurred to me. We could use jumping to... I didn't consider that strategy. I could jump to control the speed of... Oh, please be the end of the stage. I think... Okay. Okay. Okay! We are doing good. We are on track to beat both 8-bit versions of Sonic the Hedgehog in one night right now. No continues. We only have 3 lives to do this with. We are on board Robotnik's airship, and all we have left... Okay. If this is lined, I have to jump down there, and I have to take a leap of faith. Oh, wow! Okay. That is much more fairly placed in the Master System version. Most things make the placement more favorable to the player in terms of being easy to get to in the GameCube version. In the GameCube version, the first time I was exploring around to see if there was something else I could jump to, I had to waste like 5 or 6 lives jumping down there. In my last playthrough earlier in the stream, I used only 1 life, but here, okay. We're not out the woods yet. This is not a free pass. So we have to do some very specific platforming. This is the path to collect the Chaos Emerald. We do not care about that right now, though. Right now we're just trying to get to the stage. And this is a far safer version, a far safer path through the stage than the normal path, which you have many propellers and cannons, and at least in the Game Gear version, there is a spiked bomb. Well, there's a bomb and a wall of spikes, and it's very difficult to avoid the bomb when it explodes, where its projectiles will fly to, which is something you need to do in order to safely traverse that moment of the game. Like, I actually, the first time I got here on stream, I lost my run to that little bomb because it's trial and error trying to figure out exactly what the arc of his bullets. It's sort of like a bomb where, okay. We got the Chaos Emerald, though we don't care about 100%ing the game today. Oh my gosh. I could still die. And I don't even... If I died, I get to keep... Okay, we have 3 lives to fight Robotnik with. So if nothing else, we got to the final boss tonight. A lot more computers in this version. A lot more computer flashy things in the background. Okay. Okay. I need to put on some lip balm. Because that's when it's serious time. Ash Ketchum pulls his hat back. I put on lip balm when it's serious time. My mama raised me well. Okay. Yeah, you're not? Okay. Oh boy. There's no safe spot to stand on this time. Okay. I'm just taking a look at what's going on here. Ooh, those are fast. Ooh! Yeah, this is much harder than the Game Gear version. There's no safe spot to stand in. Okay. Okay. This could happen. This could happen tonight. Oh, I got greedy! I got greedy! And tried to get in an extra hit. I was probably only one hit away from taking him out. Okay. Okay. Do not get greedy this time. This is my last chance. I have no continues. That distracted me. There's a part where, like, I guess the animation for... There's a part where the... Oh, I have a continue. And I start with 3 lives. Okay, I'm not letting the continue run down. I learned my lesson about that. Okay, so I had a continue I didn't know I had. I would have been satisfied even if that was for real game over. So okay, so you can get 2 hits on him there. There's this part where, like, the electric or the force field thing kind of restarts the animation for the scanner, the scanner things are going back and forth. And when it resets, it throws off... Okay, that was clumsy. It throws off my pattern. I'm going to go quiet. I'm going to go into serious mode and stay quiet. I clipped through the... I did not mean to... Okay. This is our last chance. That was taken from me. I did not... I was trying to be a law-abiding player, but I clipped through the Robotnik's capsule. I found the pattern. Or at least Wait. Why did it stop? But once I run back over, it's going to start again. Oh my gosh, that was stolen from me. Why did it act like that? That is so weird. Alright. I feel I had that. That was legitimately mine, and just weird glitches in the game took that from me. I effectively beat the game. If it weren't for these weird glitches and, like, I don't know if the electric barrier's going back and forth. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's just part of the design, or just a glitch, a malfunction that is part of the design, but, which I guess is a glitch, but, well, yeah, the parts, I would have been fine if it didn't keep phasing me into Robotnik's capsule. I was playing by the rules of the game. The game warped me into a place where I should not have been able to expect to go, and should not have been able to go, and due to that, and that alone, I lost the game because of that. So, I'm gonna call the stream there for the night. I had not a single dropped frame. I streamed for nearly... This is the longest stream I've ever done without a break. I've never streamed without a break before, not counting the one stream last time where I cut it close, or I cut it early due to technical problems. But, yeah, that went better than I dare expected. It's tough. It's Sonic for Master System. It is a tougher game than the Game Gear version. But, since we 100%ed Sonic for Game Gear on stream, I think we could put this one to bed for now. We will come back to it maybe sometime in this in future. Maybe I'll try for some single credit runs, or score attacks or something. But Sonic for Master System, we've got some unfinished business for next time. The next stream will be this coming Tuesday, the 7th of July 2020. I will be streaming at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be playing for Master System exclusively this time. We're taking down Robotnik this time. So I'd like to thank you for an awesome stream. I'll see you on Tuesday, and thank you for watching.